Hey everyone, welcome back to Two Rivers Tabac Book Club. Today we're going over Wheel of Time again, Winter's Heart, Book 9 by Robert Jordan. Today we're going to go over chapters 19 through 26. I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm joined today by my co host, Josh.
Hello there.
What's up?
So,
So let's hop right into this. So, first thing I have in my notes here, we're back to Matt's perspective here. So, he's in the Woman. I was about to say Wandering Woman, like fucking.
wandering
Yeah,
room.
like I'm fucking Shaggy or Scooby or something.
Ruh-roh,
Ruh-roh, Raggy, we're in the
Randrew.
Wandering Woman. I don't know
Funny.
why the
That was
hell.
his. That was his nickname in high school, Randrew.
Randrew. Yes, that was my nickname.
So
I
it
just
makes
love
sense.
the letter R.
Oh
Um.
yeah.
So yeah, he's in the tavern where he's storing his money and his supplies to escape. He meets Jolene Mazza, which is a green Aes Sedai. She's been hiding from the Shan Chan and the Wandering Woman. Oh, I just did it again.
Yeah.
I'm
The
gonna keep doing
wandering
it now,
woman.
dude. I'm never gonna
Should
like
I?
not think of it like that now.
Should I just read your notes?
Oh my god. So yeah, he meets Jolene, and then we have Egan uh, or I can't remember how the audiobook person pronounced it. I'm just gonna say Gannon, but she's a Shan
That's
Chan captain, and she's the captain of the Green Fleet or whatever. She was actually at Falma during that war, and then her Sojin, which from what I read, the Sojin are basically like bodyguards or like servants to the blood of the Shan Chan, and the blood of the Shan Chan are like the higher up people, right? So
yeah.
her Sojin now is actually Bail Domon. He's the sailor. He's been in several of these books, I think. He helped Nynaeve during Falma. He's been in and out of this series, but now he's the servant of Eganon, basically.
Yeah.
So they
Bale's
both,
just
yeah.
kind of.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Was that Bale's like all over the place
I know he's like
for this series?
I know, right? Like when he first was in the series, I was like, this guy's never gonna appear again, but he just keeps popping up. So he's
Yeah.
back. Um, so they both come in. They're obviously both decked out in Shan Chan's stuff. In fact, even Bail Domon has shaved his head on the side, so he's like straight up Shan Chan now. So Matt and Jolene get scared because obviously Jolene is nice to die, and if the Shan Chan find out that she's hiding from them, they're gonna collar her. So Matt pretends to like make out with Jolene so they don't see her face, basically. Um, so yeah, that's like the first scene.
Yeah. This is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But
I didn't expect we'd switch to Matt so quickly,
yeah, I
but
know we talked about it, but we thought, being Robert Jordan and who he is and how he likes to not tell us what we want to know immediately.
yeah.
I thought it was going to be a while till we went back to Matt as well, but of course we don't get a lot of two-on interaction, which I'll get into a little bit later, but at least we're back with Matt early.
Yeah. So, uh I guess the whole thing with this is like this whole situation is Matt being the good guy he is wants to repay his debt and help people and it turns out that this person who helped him didn't even wasn't even the one who helped him, and he had like a little trick to find out because like wasn't like the note was like under his pillow or something, and she said it was somewhere else
Yeah,
or
so
something,
there
something like that.
there was this Aes Sedai was trying to pretend that she was the one who gave Matt a note to warn Nynaeve. But the letter was actually in his coat, not underneath his pillow, and she just agreed to him saying it was underneath his pillow, so he knows she's lying. So at that
Yeah,
point, he knows, okay, I need to go talk to Teslin, which is an Aes Sedai who's already been captured. But he realizes that Teslin is the one who actually gave the note, so she's the trustworthy one, not this person.
yeah. I mean that's pretty pretty cool of Matt because or pretty smart thinking
Yeah,
because I mean
usually
like
they're dumbasses, so that
yeah
was
usually usually but I feel like even if Matt knew he probably would help them anyway just because being from the two rivers I mean, he might be a man whore, but still, he uh he at least has some sense of duty as a man, like in the Two Rivers, how they protect the women and children. You know, they're very very rural.
Yeah.
So I think regardless, he'd help them anyway, and I guess he's gonna help them. Like he even said he was gonna help him. He's like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have known, but then now he has to go help more people. And it's just
Yeah,
it's a whole
exactly.
thing.
Which kind of leads into this next note here. I'll just get into it now. So Matt, after this situation ends, Jolene doesn't get captured or anything. It works. So after this, he goes to the Damani kennels. The Shan Chan call them kennels. So again, like reaffirming that like they're slaves and like they treat them like animals. Basically, it's just really inhumane. But he sees a lot of the captured women channelers. There's a lot more detail than that. I'm not gonna like get into that specifically. It's just more about like the conditions they're in. But Matt speaks with Teslin again, the White Tower loyalist who gave him the note originally. They talk over escaping and stuff, and he agrees to help her escape Teslin, but also help another Aes Sedai, Edicina, escape as well, who is a rebel, not a loyalist. So now he's kind of roped himself into the situation where he needs to escape, but also help these other two escape. And then the last part about this I'll just talk about is when he walks out of the kennels, he runs into Tuon, again the daughter of the Nine Moons, who is prophesized to marry at some point. And Tuon's actually pleased to see that he's nice to the Damani. He makes up a story that like he was, visiting the Damani or whatever for like good reasons. So even though Tuon might have like Damani slaves, she at least sounds like she's maybe not the worst Shan Jan, but I don't know. We'll see. And
So,
then Matt just thinks about how he's going to involve Tom and Julian to like help him escape.
yeah. So what's there? I got a couple things I want to like stop real quick and
Yeah,
talk about,
yeah.
and it's mostly the Tuhon, daughter of the Nine Moons. Because so when we look at their culture, having slaves is normal. As like when we look at it, we're like, oh, that's inhumane. So if we look at through her lens, she obviously it's been shown through this book that she treats her Dumani, her slaves, uh, good. Oh, I mean, for obviously it's to us it's not good, but to like them, she treats them nicely. Like, oh, nice, how we would treat a dog. Like if you saw someone abusing a dog, you'd be like, what the hell? But she is like treating her dogs or her pets, her slaves nicely. Uh, so I guess when she came in and like Matt gave that story, that just gives her another because we already know she likes him in her own weird way. So like that in of itself gives her like more like, ooh, look at this guy. Not only is he handsome, but he loves Domani, treats
And
them nice.
he has a
But
tiny dick.
his
So
tight dick, oh my favorite.
yeah.
don't don't think about taking a Dumani to the bed. They've done that once before, and all the prisoners were killed
Right.
or something. At least like in the slave culture like this, you can't like abuse that in a sexual way, or
Mm-hmm.
else you could dire consequences. So I guess if I was gonna say good job on that, at least probably give him a golden star. But for the rest of the slave stuff, not so much. But
Yeah, he kind of threw that in there in this scene as well, like talking about how sometimes the Damani gets sexually assaulted by people who are not Damani. And obviously I feel like that's kind of a reference to, real day slavery back in the day where that occurred frequently with slave owners like, you know, sexually
I
assaulting
mean,
their slaves. But yeah, like
yeah,
you said, at least here they reprimand them. I mean, in our society they didn't, but you know.
yeah. We had a whole war about it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Anyway, uh, there's
um.
another thing. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Go.
so glad they're finally bringing like Matt and Julian, or not Matt, Tom and Julian like back into this, and they're pretty like for pretty major roles we'll get to even later down. Or maybe this was the part I was thinking of. Because like for a while, even the majority of this book, they're kind of just there or they barely show up. But now we're given a specific scenario where both Tom and Julian are gonna be needed and useful. So we're finally gonna get a lot more of them.
Yeah, hopefully, because like kind of like our boy Loyal, he's not even here actually. So if anything, he's not even on the level of Tom and Julian. But like Tom and Julian have been kind of just hanging out in the background for a while, so it'll be cool to like kind of bring him back into the fold a little more. Besides
Yeah.
Tom just talking about like banging the school teacher.
Yeah.
So
Literally. But you know what's funny about these characters is just like in the first couple books they needed to be more prominent so that they
yeah,
could teach our main characters stuff. But
absolutely.
now that our main characters are know how to do their thing and we don't really need them to take the spotlight anymore because we don't really need well they still need to be taught some stuff but for the most part they don't really need people teaching them 24/7 all you know
No,
so
exactly. Our main characters have like graduated onto like bigger teachers, like more important teachers.
like
Um, yeah, like
Cat
Cat
Swain
Swain, like really powerful people, or like nobles, or like their teachers now instead of good old Tom Maryland,
is good old Tom
the Glee
Maryland.
Man.
Oh, you're 18, that's fine. How old am I? Oh, I'll
Yeah,
be your grandpa, but fuck it.
yeah. Hopefully he
Yeah.
didn't teach that lesson, but
I just want to
yeah.
say, if you're like a single dude and you're like in your mid 50s and some like young 20-year-old something is hot, is willing to bang you, you're gonna do it. I don't care. You're a single 55-year-old dude with a limp
Oh
who
yeah,
can
yeah,
juggle. You're gonna do it.
yeah. Men will
Like
do it. Yeah,
don't try to be all high and mighty saying that's no, you do it.
yeah. No,
You
for
do
sure,
it.
for sure.
No, no but I wouldn't. That's some other
But
person.
I wouldn't.
I would never do that. No.
I
I like
mean,
older women.
right? Yeah, I only like girls. I only like 30 plus. So
Shit, if I'm 50, she better be
she better be
102.
the fucking 90, dude.
So I want to break a hip. All right.
uh,
So, what's your RPG question?
okay, yeah, got an RPG question for you. I guess it's just a regular segment now, but if you were playing an RPG game, what would you do? So, like, would you help the Aes Sedai escape, or would you just escape yourself if you're Matt? Would you help those two Aes Sedai and potentially others, where you just be like, say, fuck it, I'm out?
So, I guess with the Aes Sedai, the one who's in the tavern wouldn't be like that hard.
Yeah.
It's the other woman and her friend, and then they're like, "Oh, we gotta help more people." So it's basically just a big side quest unlocked,
Mm,
and so right now, Matt is general to Rand's army.
yeah.
All these Aes Sedai are willing to help Rand, and so in the end, against the Dark One at the battle at Tarmageddon, uh, they might be very useful. So you'd probably have to, probably, especially if you have the power of luck, power of God and anime on your side, then like, then you gotta take the gamble. I mean, you've won everyone so far. And I
Yeah.
don't think you're gonna be losing. So yeah, yeah. If I was Matt, I would do it. Now, if I was me, uh, I don't know. I don't think I have luck on my side. So I don't
What
know.
are you talking about?
That's
You're
a
banging
tough one.
90-year-olds like we just talked about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Jackpot to me, dude.
They buy me rice cakes and and
And Werther's Originals,
sandwiches.
those fucking like caramel candies or whatever that only old people
They
eat.
no, no the ones I bang only have cherry cough drops.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Which are the best kind of ones.
Those slap
Unless you're
too.
actually trying to get rid of like a a cold or something, then they're awful. Like you just get the mint ones.
Yeah. Oh.
So what would you do? would you, would you-
I think I'm similar where like Matt has the superpower of luck. So I think he would be able to get them out and then but I don't know. I think I would consult Tom and Julian first and be like, what do you guys think? Like, do you think this is feasible? And if they're like, no, I'd be like, all right, let's just leave. Because, like you said, I think it is important to like get the Aes Sedai on their side, on Rand's side. Of course, like the more Aes Sedai you get, the better. But like you said as well, Matt is a general, and like he'd probably be more used to Rand right now if he was outside of Ebudar and not a prisoner and could like lead an army. So the quicker he can kind of get back to that is probably going to be more useful than saving like a couple Aes Sedai. But I think if Tom and Julian and orchestrate a plan where they're like, we could probably get them out with a high chance, and especially with his luck ability, like his +5 to any dice roll.
yeah, literally.
Yeah, I think it's feasible for sure.
Cool. So it really just depends. If you have a good plan, you're in.
Yes,
If it's not a good plan, then you're out.
knowing Matt and how he is, there probably will not be a good plan, but it's Matt,
Probably
so
not.
they'll probably get him.
Yeah.
They'll get him out.
They'll get him out. Okay, Matt has all the generals of the past in his
He
brain,
does. He does.
and
And their sexual endeavors, as we learned.
their sex. That is so damn funny.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
there's
such a
just
horny book. This book is
right.
so horny.
Like, I
This
thought
isn't
the
even the
book.
end, man. We're gonna get to the fucking Alana parts in this section, and it's gonna be horny again. But yeah,
Honestly,
go ahead.
this
Sorry.
no, it's just like I don't know. It's hilarious.
I enjoy it. I'm
I
not
love
like
it. Yeah.
knocking it. It's just
No, I
an
know what you mean.
observation I have.
Yeah. It's what was the one before this was like we described as like the horny book. I think it was book 5.
Yeah, there was
Uh
another book that was exceptionally horny too. I think that was the one where like Moraine was like, "Yeah, I'd fuck you too."
oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's like I thought about laying in Rand's bed, but then that wouldn't work. Like she's like I wouldn't work cuz of like
It was some like
some
prophecy
reason.
thing. She's like, the
She's
world will fuck up if I do that or something.
yeah, and
So
I
like,
think it would probably be because men Avienda and Egwene, or no, and Elaine
yeah.
would just be like, bruh. Like if Rand fell in love with Moraine, that actually
Dude,
I
if
love
you
Moraine.
throw
Bring her
Moraine in this
back.
pot, dude, I would take Moraine 100%.
Oh
Fuck
yeah,
the other
let's
girls,
go.
dude. Moraine,
She
she's wife
knows what's
material,
up,
dude.
dude. Right?
Moraine's
And
sick.
I think like men as well.
Yeah, no, I like
Egwene,
Minto. I
Elaine,
like
or
Minto.
I keep saying Egwene. Elaine, I'm still kind of like I like her, but I don't know if you'd wife her up yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's not gonna have a choice when we get to the end of
Like,
this.
and
Uh,
Avienda is like 180 her behavior. She's just like, dude, like, so like basically, if you want a Damani as a girlfriend, go for Avienda.
yeah, pretty much at this
I'm just,
point.
anyway, we can
We
we
continue.
continue.
All right. Next section. So we're switching perspectives to Bethamin, which is a Suldam. She knows Eganon pretty well. So a seeker of truth goes and meets Bethamin. The seekers of truth are Shan Chan like special forces. They're like the enforcers or whatever. They're kind of similar to the White Cloak questioners, like the people who torture people. But the way Robert Jordan describes these seekers is like the things that the seekers do make the questioners look like pussies, basically. So like the seekers of truth are insane with their methods. So he goes and visits Bethamin Asuldam, and he tells Bethamin to spy on Eganon and Bail Domon because he suspects there's a conspiracy with the High Lord of the Shan-Chan Suroth and then the Aes Sedai. So he thinks that like they're all working together and betraying like the Empire. So Bethamin goes on the way to Eganon and Domon. She goes to like talk to them. We find out, Eganon and Bail Domon are in a relationship. So again, like the Shan Chan captain and then the sailor guy are like fucking now,
Yeah.
and Domon,
I've seen his
suggests.
friends before. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Um, Domon suggests, hey, why don't you free me? Because technically I'm a slave. Why don't you free me so that we can get married? And Ganon's kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that because the way the Shan Chan might view that would be bad. So she kind of like skips over that. But Bethaman comes into the room and tells Ganon, hey, the Seekers think that you're part of a conspiracy, and they think Bale's part of the conspiracy too. So they're in kind of a bad situation because, like we talked about, the Seekers are no joke. They're very cruel. And so Ganon and Domon, they talk a little bit, and they're like, okay, let's seek out Matt and Tom for help with the situation.
Yeah, that's why it's like Matt's whole story arc is getting a whole lot more complicated.
Yeah,
I
at
like it.
first it was like, all right, let's just use the circus to leave, and now it's like, all right, we got to bring out these Aes Sedai, we got to bring out Tom and Julian, and
It's
then
like it literally just goes from let's use the circus to escape to conspiracy theorist, all jailbreak, heists, and I'm just like, holy shit,
yeah,
Matt.
it's
And
fucking fun.
I feel bad for Perrin because his storyline's now the most boring out of everyone's except Egwene's. And
Yes.
well, because it's like it starts off with parents like this is Perrin's book, right? Winter's Heart. He's a wolf. His wife got kidnapped. He's
In
gonna rescue
winter.
his in winter, and he's gonna rescue his wife. And then like 90 or 80% of the book later, I have no idea what he's doing.
The classic Robert Jordan writing.
I think because like Perrin himself as a character, we all love Perrin, but Perrin just doesn't have that much going on in his head. He's pretty straightforward by
Yeah,
the
he's like the
books,
epitome of like
manly
a,
man.
a side quest character.
Yeah, so like he's like the guy that in a video game like The Witcher or something where you could pick to be a good person or a bad person. He's like the person you'd play as like the good guy. So
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't. There's not really anything too interesting. No, I'm not gonna say too interesting because it's still interesting. I'm gonna say it's not like as uh, it's not as fluid, or it's not gonna be as creative or as jumpy or as it's not gonna be as crazy as like Matt's situation, you know. So of course
Yeah.
Matt's
Yeah.
situation, and then you have Rand going off trying to freaking take out the taint. So it's like those two compared to uh Perrin
My wife was
right
captured. I
now,
just have to
or
go rescue her. Yeah.
yeah, it's not as interesting as I frankly it's just not as much I feel like you can do with. I think for what the situation is, Robert Jordan did a pretty good job at making it interesting by having Perrin be completely surrounded by people he cannot trust.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's a whole lot more stuff going on.
Yeah. I definitely agree.
But yeah, that's basically what I got. I'm just glad Tom and Julian are going to be a bigger part, and I'm actually glad to see Bale again too, because I never was he the one who did they destroy his ferry in the first book, or was he the other guy?
Oh man,
I
I
can't
can't.
remember.
No, it wasn't his ferry. It wasn't his ferry.
Okay,
They do
yeah, it was
destroy
one of
his
the ones later.
boat, I think, at one point. Can't remember if it was like Falma or if it was somewhere else where his boat gets destroyed, but yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, I gotta stretch. We could get to you on.
All right. So next part I wrote about here, we're switching perspectives again. Again, Robert Jordan is like king of perspective switching. But
Let's go.
so Rand is tailing Roachide, which is a rogue Ashaman, to Farmatting. So Farmatting is unique in that it's kind of like a steading, but it's not. So like it has the characteristics of a steading where you can't channel there, but it's not because of the Ogiers being there. It's because of like a ter'angreal or something that's in the city that forces people to not channel within the city limits. So Ogier aren't necessarily there, but like people live there, but you can't channel. So Rand tailing Roachide in the city basically means he's just a normal dude. Him and the other Ashman are just normal guys because they can't channel. So he's following Roachide. He follows him into an alley and then wounds him pretty badly. Roachide, or Rand wounds Roachide. Then Kisman, another rogue Ashaman, tries to like get the jump on Rand. Rand evades it, and then Kisman accidentally kills Roachide. So Roachide bleeds out, and then Rand and Kisman hear the city guards coming. So they both have to run away because they're not. Rand is not supposed to be like doing this, right? He's not supposed to be going after people and killing people, and he can't channel. So like if the city guards show up, he's essentially fucked. So
Yeah.
they run away, and then Kisman actually returns to his room in one of the inns, and he gets assassinated by Fane. So we get another appearance by Fane. So like you said, just getting more and more complicated, but Rand also goes back to the inn where he was staying, and Min, Nynaeve, and Olivia are there, and Olivia is a former Damani.
You
So,
know,
yeah, that's how his situation. Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna be like, so with that situation, uh, when Rand goes to pursue him and he's like, "Yo, I know I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Fuck it."
Yeah.
And then that whole scene was pretty cool. Really like the comparison when Rand goes to fight. He's like, they probably think because I'm the dragon that I've put all my strength into learning how to use the one power
Yeah.
instead of physical combat. Because because of how powerful I am. And so he's like, but little do they know, I strengthen both, both skills. And completely annihilated him.
Yeah,
So I thought
right.
that was really cool to show how far they've grown. Because I remember at the beginning of the second book when Land's like teaching him how to fight, and it's like he did the snake down the rocks,
The monkey
the river.
climbing the tree and eating a banana.
It's like the nerd reading the lore, like, So
The
uh,
Tom fucking an 18-year-old.
yeah. The- I don't know.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. The Andrew or fucking the grandma. I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
character development. And then when he gets back and like starts talking to Min and all of them, and Rand tells him what happened, and Min's like, I had no idea. She's like, I couldn't feel anything at all. And she was like worried about him, and he's just like, oh, there's nothing to feel. Just gotta kill him.
Right. So we
It's
continue
like,
the arc of
bro,
him kind of becoming a little bit numb to that stuff.
yeah, it's becoming too. How would they say it?
Rock hard Rand.
Mm-hmm. See, and then Min out of everyone knows that he's just getting a little too hard
Yeah.
lately.
Well, she
Even
knows that for sure.
oh yeah, and then, even Rand's like, well, never knew. I never really thought about it. I only focus on them
Right.
when I become rock hard Rand, but they could probably feel everything. So that's embarrassing. He's because he's still more like it's just funny that the girls are more open about it than he is.
Yeah. Which, it's just kind of how it is with men and women, I feel like.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. So let's say everything going on right now is especially like that's why I had to bring up the parent thing because like it's just not as interesting because there's just so much bigger stuff going on than Fael got kidnapped, So,
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
what did you think? What are your thoughts on
Yeah, I like the scene. It like reminds me that Rand is a blade master, right? So like it was cool to like have a little bit of sword combat. Especially, and it kind of reminded me of, like you said, back when he was being trained by Lan and he had to fight a sword master that was Shan Chen and beat him with Monkey climbing the tree. But
it? Yeah,
I'm glad we're not doing that anymore. Thank
yeah,
God that we're not.
yeah,
I thought we were about to go into another paragraph of like fucking snake going through the grass, and I was ready to laugh my ass off, but we don't.
yeah.
Thank God.
It's like when the series first started, I loved it because it was just kind of funny, and I've never seen it like described that way.
Me too.
Uh, but then once I got to like book 6, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I'm like, I have no idea. I want to know what he's doing.
I
Like book 1 and
wonder.
2, I was like, all right. But
I wonder if people just like made fun of him or something, and he got a lot of feedback. Or is like, dude, why do you keep talking about Snake going through the grass? So he got self conscious and stopped doing it. But
I don't know. Well, I want to see more of it, but
it is pretty funny. It's
it's
great.
great.
It's great material.
It's like I want to see more of it, but I also really like kind of the style too, where it's telling me what's happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, because like the other way, like when it's the other way around, I can kind of like imagine a fight scene in my head, uh, unique to that situation stuff. But then on the other hand, when it happened too often, I was just kind of like, I don't even know what to think. And
Yeah.
if these are based off real moves, which I have no idea if they are, then maybe I could just Google them.
I think I looked up a couple of them and they're not. Um, but maybe some of them are. I think I only looked up like a couple. I mean, I'm sure, like there are moves that are based off of like animals and stuff. Because I mean, I know like certain martial arts are based
Yeah.
off of like animal stances, but the
So
crane.
the
So
crane. Do you think Rand is going to be rock hard for a couple more books,
God, I hope.
or do you hope so?
No,
He has a dragon.
yeah, I mean, we've talked about it in other sections, but yeah, I don't know when he'll soften up. I mean, there's going to have to be a breaking point where, I mean, he has to get tougher because he's the dragon. He needs to be tough, but at the same time, you got to like have some emotions and remorse, you know?
Yeah.
But,
Sorry for the yawn, but
there
there's
you
not, so there's only like 14 books, right? I think
go. Hmm.
Rand's probably gonna snap out of or start turning around next book. And the reason is because now that he's connected to all three of the women who actually care about him and like want to help and support him, he now has an outlet for, and he no longer has to go numb with all the pain and emotion. He can now express it healthily and you know turn into happy farm boy again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, you can
yeah.
continue.
I had an
Um,
RPG question here, just briefly. We can go over it, but yeah, like, what would you do? I know Rand talked about like I probably shouldn't be doing this. Would you try to tail the rogue Ashimon, or you'd be like, all right, let me send some other people to deal with that, and I'm just gonna deal with other stuff.
uh, well, I feel like in this situation, he kind of had to tail him because he was by himself. So if he went back and told them that there's like Oshmen around, that would just give them more time to prepare or stalk him or do something. So, but in this case, they were luring him in, but Rand was felt capable with his abilities to fight him. So I'm just like I'm not like I don't I'm not good with that sword. I've never used a sword in my life, so I probably wouldn't. But if I was Rand, uh, I probably I probably would if I was Rand. If I was myself, if I probably wouldn't, just because it's a little too risky. Because it could be a plan. Like they could either see or you or not, but you're willing to take that risk and get ambushed by, especially when you can't even use the one power. It's like, what if there's like 10 people show up? But maybe that's why, because throughout the book, Rand has practiced against multiple foes at the same time and practice combats. Like we saw it in the when he took Tyr and a whole bunch of other sections too. So he probably is confident enough to take on multiple people, which as right now he just took on two. But for me, I'd probably say no because I don't have that experience, and I think I would die.
Hmm. Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I
just
mean, I think this situation in general is kind of like a little bit of a pride thing for him too. Where like he started this Dark Tower and he started the training of all these Ashamon, and now there's a section of them that are already rogue, and it's not even like that deep into their how long this organization has existed. So like the more that gets out that these rogue Ashamon are already plotting to kill him, just is really gonna hurt his image. I feel like more so than it already
Okay.
is. So younger me, who's more prideful, would probably go after them, but I would hope myself now would accept the pride loss and be like, okay, like send other people to deal with them, and like I just have to take the PR hit of like the Dark Tower is made because like he's going after these two guys, but it's like we don't know how deep this corruption is spreading, and I think I didn't include it in my notes, and I should have. I think now that I'm thinking about it, but when Kisman is going back to his room, he refers to the Mahale giving him orders, and the Mahale is Mazrim Taim. So
Yep.
we know for sure that he's evil. So it's like you're going after these two rogue Ashaman, but you don't know how deep the corruption is within your organization. You're just kind of leaving Mazrim Taim to do whatever the fuck he wants right now. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Because
don't know. I think
I
it's gonna
feel
come to
like
bite him in the ass. Like this whole side quest, he's gonna come out of farmatting and he's gonna get bit in the ass because he didn't deal with the entire Dark Tower as a whole.
see, I don't know if he. I think the reason he might be getting rid of the tank now is because of that very thing.
Yeah,
Because if Tahim and a bunch of the Ashimon have turned to the dark side,
the dock
then
side,
then the taint isn't harming them, and
right?
Rand can like barely stand up, and sometimes using the power because of the taint. So I don't know if he went and tried to fight them off, he might lose because they're going to be at full strength while he's like losing his mind.
Yeah, that's a
So
good
I
point.
think so that's kind of why I think he's doing this. But why he's decide to do it now? Um, but yeah, still don't think he probably should have chased after them. But since he did, he at least killed one of them. But now the other one knows that he knows that that they're there watching him. So that's some good information on both sides. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So I don't know if Rand knew they were watching them, and then he could have went back, told the rest of the group, and so that the Ashimon now don't know that he knows, and they know that they're there. So that gives Rand and his group an advantage because they can use that against the Ashimon by taking them by surprise. But now the Ashimon know they're there, so whatever advantage was once there is now gone.
Right.
Words, words.
Words. Yeah.
I'm tired. Okay, let's go to the next section.
All right. So we're. I'm just briefly gonna touch on this perspective change. It wasn't like a long section, but we switched to the perspective of Esom slash Luke. They seem like I think Esom is like the spirit version. I didn't really understand
Oh
that
wait,
that well, but yeah, go ahead.
sorry. Real quick before you continue, Bane is back, baby. Let's
True.
go.
True.
Let's go.
He's
Okay, you
back.
can continue.
So Luke is the Slayer from the Defense of the Two Rivers with Perrin in a previous book. He's the one that was in the dream world with Perrin when Perrin was in the wolf dreams.
Yeah.
So Luke is basically it seems like he's just like an assassin now. He's getting paid by the Forsaken. And he just talks about looking forward to be giving the order to kill his nephew, which is Rand apparently. So
What? Oh
yeah,
yeah. That's crazy.
yeah. So we have a living family member who wants to kill him, which is unfortunate, but
Very unfortunate. And you know, it's cool that we saw Luke again because like I like the name sounded familiar because I'm like I know this character, but I have no I cannot remember for the life of me where he's from. But when she remembered what she said, like the guy from the Two Rivers, I was like, oh, holy shit, dude, we haven't seen this guy since book 4.
I know,
It's
right? Like,
book
because he
nine.
just
Oh
like
my
rode
god.
away. Like, I know Perrin shot him with an arrow, I think, in the dream world, and then he rode away wounded. So clearly he was the Slayer. But like, yeah, they never like revisited that. He just like went away, and that was it.
I I can't believe I and we forgot. I remember. I think like I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure after we read that book, we like mentioned something like, "Oh, I can't wait to see this character again,"
Yeah.
and then I completely forgot about him, and maybe Robert Jordan didn't too. No, but then you say that Luke in here talks about, so he's pretty sure he's bipolar, right?
Yeah, he's got like two
Or not
personalities.
bipolar. Sorry,
Yeah. Yeah.
personality.
Either two
Personality disorder.
personalities or like one version of him is in the spirit world and then one version is in the real world. But yeah, like something like that.
So he's crazy. Uh, and we knew he was working with Forsaken and stuff
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Like from it was pretty obvious. Uh, and I'm having a brain fart, so you say something real quick.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it honestly in this section
Uh,
is they're just kind of built he's just building up the suspense of okay, now there's an assassin who is his uncle.
Yeah. Sorry, we're kicked.
Yeah,
The day went by.
no, you're good. We can move on here though. So next part I wrote about. So we're switching perspectives again to Cad Swain, and she's leading a party that includes Alana, the Aes Sedai bonded to Rand, Varen, who helped Rand in like book 2 and some other books, and then a party of Aes Sedai and Sea people. So they're going to Farmatting because Alana can track Rand with the bond. So they go to Farmatting and then they meet with the council there and tell them like what they're doing. There's a lot of details about like them talking between each other and then talking to the council. I don't think I'm really gonna get into that. If
No, we
it's
don't.
yeah, I don't
Don't
think it's
care.
important. If it does become important, we can always revisit it later on in when we're talking about this book. But I don't think it's gonna be that important. Um, so they're working their way towards Rand. While that's happening, Min is talking to Rand in their bedroom. He's just telling him about Olivia. So again, that's the former Damani that's in Rand's party now. And he's going. Supposedly, she's going to play a big role with Rand because she's going to help him die at some point. So I guess Olivia might be like around for a while. But Alana and Cad Swain they come into the bedroom with Min and Rand. So Cad Swain kind of, they talk for a while. I'm not going to get into every detail of what they talk about. I don't think everything is important, but some of the stuff I'll talk about here. So Cad Swain talks about how 3 of the Ashaman now are bonded to Aes Sedai. The reason being that they're kind of afraid to go back to the Dark Tower at this point because they don't know how like deep the insurgency is. So they're bonded to Aes Sedai now, which is unprecedented. There's not common for like a female channeler to bond to a male one, but additionally, Cad Swain agrees to not tell the Sea Folk and her party, like the Aes Sedai that are with her, where he is so he can complete his mission, which is, assassinating the Ashaman there. I also wrote here she slaps Rand. It's a
Yeah,
really
thank
common
God.
theme in the series, but
Sometimes Rand needs it.
yeah, for sure. And it kind of just reasserts like Cad Swain's status of like I really don't give a fuck. So,
Yeah.
um, so moving on from that, from like Cad Swain talking, then we have Alana talking to Rand. So Cad Swain leaves the room. Alana talks to Rand, and she's like, "Okay, why did I pass out earlier?" And it's confirmed. It's because he bonded these other women. And Alana actually thinks it's only one woman, but Rand doesn't tell her which woman it is. Obviously, it's men. And then also she mentions that Alana knows when he's having sex with men. So love it.
That's so funny. That scene in general cracked me up because I'm
Yeah.
just thinking we go from Rand taking like 5 books to finally lay his dragon seed, right? 5 books. Uh, very conservative man like Perrin, and
Yes.
then now he's just banging 3 chicks on the regular. He doesn't give a
I knew
fuck.
this shit was coming too. I knew when
Yeah,
Alana came into the room, some shit about the sex stuff was gonna be mentioned. I just
That's
knew.
so funny.
I thought it was gonna be like she passed out because of the sex stuff, but it seems more like she just passed out because of the new bond.
Because
But I
yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
we have three people bond to like him at the same time, so
Yeah,
she's feeling from Rand's side just out of nowhere, like because like shock is like very like you can die from being like shocked, like
yeah, yeah,
So out of nowhere, she's just doing her thing, and then three people bond Rand, and she feels it through Rand. I mean,
yeah,
of course, she wasn't. Not only was she not mentally prepared for it, well, no, she wasn't mentally prepared for it. So physically, she just got overwhelmed. It just came out of nowhere.
yeah, definitely. They also mention here, so it's actually possible to release someone from a bond. They kind of just like Robert Jordan just kind of casually throws that in there while they're talking here, and that's like a major thing. I feel like because I think up into this point there wasn't a lot of talk about actually being released from a bond besides death. So you can get released from a bond if the person who bonded you, releases you. So Rand asks for Alana to release him. She says no. And then Rand is like, okay, but I don't want you to be near me, so I'm gonna send you to Tyr to negotiate. And then after you're done with that, you can come back. But like, I don't want to be like around you unless I need
Yeah,
you. So
because like the first time we saw a warder lose their the second time we saw a warder lose their bond was when Lan uh uh went over to Nynaeve and got bonded by her. So we know. So that was like the first time when we found out that it is possible.
oh yeah,
But like you said, it was very uh brushed over. It was very quick. So this was like the second one of the other times where we learn about it through Rand
I
and her
forgot about
talking.
that. Yeah, that Lan got released from his bond from that other Aes Sedai.
Yeah. So this whole section I basically like makes me think that like the beginning with Cadsuane shows that how much power her name alone has, um, just because of how old she is and how there's still some people who would rather not be around her,
Yeah,
politically, and just because she has all that power, uh, and then goes on to once we get to finally like this conversation. It was really funny leading up to it too, with like Min and Rand's conversations about like uh about Alana. She's like, "Is that her? Is she here?" And then Catswain walks in, and she's like, "You told me it was her." And then she walked in. Oh my god! And then how men like when they knocked on the door, and she's like, "Is that her?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "All right, lay in bed." And then she like gets all snuggled up to him and shit. It was
oh
funny as
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That was so funny. And then she's like, "Come in." And then just you expect it to be Alana, and it's just fucking cat's weight. You're just like, bruh. That part was really funny. It cracked me up.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Uh, yeah, and I guess the only really much input I have on the Alana conversations like already been talked about, but it shows what's really strange about this. And obviously I say it in a good way of like I really like this story. I'm saying it in a way is like Alana basically soul raped Rand, and it refuses to let go of the bond and claims she calls him my warder. You're my warder. And it's just like you soul raped him. You don't own him, bitch. Get
Yeah,
the
it's a
fuck
little
out of
bit
here.
cringe. She probably should have released him. But
So so it's like when I look at like through her lens and how Aes Sedai are like so built so far above everyone else. It's like she can't see even now she like can't see past uh the shit like the like she can't she like is looking at her own shit and is like, wow, it's golden. You know?
yeah,
So I don't really it's just like, come on,
yeah.
bruh.
She definitely should have released him. I mean, I know she's described by Varen as like more of the one of the more emotional Aes Sedai. Like she's more defensive and like compared to other Aes Sedai. So kind of shows here again. But yeah.
And we can continue on unless you want to elaborate on something you liked.
No, there's nothing else
I
there
get
for me. So in this next part here, I'll just touch on it really briefly here, but Varen, the Aes Sedai who helped Rand in previous books, the Brown Aes Sedai, is worried about being in Farmatting. She's there with the party with Cadsuane because she has warrants for her arrest from previous encounters there. So just randomly has warrants for arrest. And like Varen is one of those characters where it's like in book 2, I was like, this Aes Sedai is similar to Moraine in the sense that she's probably has good intentions and like should probably be around Rand. But then there's other situations now, like she goes back and forth. I feel like she's a very like I don't know yet if she's truly trustworthy or not. But it seems like she has good intentions for the most part. But
Yeah.
anyway, she speaks with Cadsuane and then she decides that she's not going to try to poison Cadsuane. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
But
Oh, this was the part where Cat Swain was also talking about how she's like, okay, because she wouldn't be acting like this towards Rand if oh what fuck what's her name? What's that woman who controls the White Tower right now?
Elida.
Alan, Elida.
Yeah.
It's like
There's so
so
many
many A
names,
names.
dude.
I'm just
Yeah, when I
I'm
write
just
these
trying to
notes,
make
I gotta
sure.
like remind myself who everyone is, and that's why I try to like say like a quick thing too, because I'm like it's so difficult to remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
So I'll say is like because of what Elida did to Rand, uh, she can't just go up to him and be like, "Okay, I'm gonna help you and do what you want," and blah blah blah, because Rand can't cry, right? He can't feel. He's just gone numb, basically. Uh, if she did do that, it would be catastrophic. And we've talked about this before, and they've mentioned it a lot of times in the book. I just like how every like because we see how hard Cat Swain is on him, and to us it's like just cut Rand some slack. We're reminded here again that she can't do that because if she does, that's going to be no good to Rand. So she's literally doing all this to help Rand, in her own way, come to his senses. And when he does, one of the first steps is him coming to ask her for help because it'll show him modesty or
Exactly.
whatever. So
Yeah, he's very much lacking in humility right now.
yeah. So I just wanted to make that point before moving on to the
Yeah,
final part.
that's a good point. All right, so yeah, the final section here, we're going back to Elaine's perspective. So Elaine and Egwene, again the names.
Yeah.
They meet in the dream world and they actually observe how Emmonsfield, like where they all grew up originally in the first book, is now like a prosperous town. Like it's not really a farm village anymore. And on top of that, they're flying the Manetheren banner, which is like the red falcon, I think, or whatever, that Perrin was using when he was there. So you kind of see them starting to build like a kingdom. Um, Elaine leaves the dream world, and they talk about a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna like go into detail about it, but Elaine leaves the dream world, and then we discover that she's pregnant with Rand's child. So obviously that's like a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm,
It's
I'm
like
pretty sure
holy
Min like
shit.
didn't Min
Yeah,
prophesize
Min
that. Yeah,
predicted it.
she
Yeah,
knew that
she
was gonna
did.
happen. So she's pregnant with Rand's child. The castle knows that she's pregnant as well. So she tries to play it off like the captain of her guard is the father because she doesn't want people to know that Rand is the father. So she just acts really friendly to him and pretends like he likes she likes him. And there's there's she talks about like getting her butt pinched. Um,
Hell yeah, brother.
uh, just a
Oh, it's,
such an old timey thing is like I don't know, like I feel like men nowadays we don't really do that. I know like it used to be a thing, but like slapping
yeah.
is more the MO now. I feel like.
Well, it's like even like when I talked to my grandma, so like when she worked when she was younger in the courthouses and stuff. it just talks about how like managers and stuff they would pinch women's bottoms and stuff too. So they did it to her as well. So it's like people. So it was a thing. All right. It's so try to you could say people blow it out proportion. You could say that it happened a lot more than you think. But what we do know for sure is that it happened. So that is a very old timey thing. I don't know if too much of it still goes on in today. I don't really see it it doesn't happen at my work, so that's all I can say about it.
Yeah, no, I
So
mean, in the modern day, that kind of shit does not fly.
no, you get fucking fired
No.
to lose all your shit.
But
So I
yeah,
don't
back
think
in the day, it was like okay to just sexually harass women all the time. So,
well, she could become like like she could become like the queen, and she's like, I'll bear it if I must, because if people find out she's carrying the baby of the dragon reborn, they're gonna kill her, or someone's gonna try to kill her, or
yeah,
at least
no,
capture her, or maybe wait till the baby's born and then steal the baby, kidnap the baby, raise it
absolutely.
at. What if this is the dark? This is what the dark man, the not the dark man, the dark one wanted. He wanted to keep Althor alive until he could have an heir who would be strong as fuck, and then he would raise that heir as his own and have himself an evil chosen one, an evil Talvarian.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Who knows?
No, it's a very yeah. It's completely understandable that Elaine's gonna try to make people think it's a different man's child because, like, yeah, if people find
Yeah,
out it's Rand, that would create like chaos. So
her Avienda is like n- not a fan, but once she explains it to her, she's like, okay, but I'm still still don't like it.
oh man.
But I wish I was pregnant.
Dude, me
The
too.
car with the car con. I don't know. So, but it's really funny seeing how like they describe Elaine's foods and stuff now. How she's like, oh, she's like, I'm getting all this healthy shit. I want some of the sweets and some other stuff. And then she's like, I tried to sneak it to the kitchen, but they just looked at me and was like,
Which,
she's
like,
like,
I
I
didn't
just
even
got
know.
out
Is
of
that even like a
it.
thing? I thought like with pregnant women, you kind of should just feed them whatever they're craving. But
It's
I
well,
mean,
it's
obviously
like
you want to eat healthy, but like, it's not like she's drinking fucking gallons of wine. I don't know, like,
yeah.
why they were focusing so much on like the cakes and stuff.
I'll have to ask. I'll ask my sister, but
Yeah, because like I've
my mom.
never
But
heard of that being like such a big deal. Maybe back in the day it was a bigger deal, but I don't know.
well, this is how I like think of it. So, let's say like you yourself. Let's say you just start eating a bunch of sweets and drinking soda all the time, uh, and kick like some of the or like minimum of like the good stuff. But then let's say you kick all the sugar and all that out and you just have the good stuff. Like, how do you think your body's gonna turn out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's like
So
better
yeah.
to. Of course, it's better to
So
eat fucking vegetables every damn day. Of course, but
yeah.
like that's just not realistic. Like, I don't think any mom adheres to such a ridiculous schedule. I don't. I don't know.
They
I
think it
don't
might
know.
have to do with their temptations.
I
They
think you
can't
can eat
quarrel them.
cake. Like, I think it's not a big deal to eat some
You
cake. I think it's
probably
gonna
want
be all
cake.
right. Like,
Yeah.
maybe drinking wine, probably not. But like,
Probably
yeah,
not.
like eating cake and stuff. Like, I don't know why that's given such a. It's made such a big deal in this section. I don't know. It's
It's
weird
so
to me.
funny because we live in America, right? So literally all our food has sugar in it. So it's
Yeah.
like that's why uh I don't buy anything in like pack. Rarely do I buy anything in a package anymore, like at all. But yeah, because like back then everything's like made fresh. Or I'm not gonna say back then. I'm gonna say in this world of this book, everything's mostly made fresh. Nothing's put in like you're not getting your like fake food, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
so uh it's just different cultures, I guess. Like it does I don't what I'm trying to say is I don't think it matters too much like for us because since we live in a culture where sugar is literally fucking everywhere, it's kind of like we don't even think about it. But in their culture where you it isn't like that, then it's like, dude, there's no excuse. You're eating healthy.
Yeah, I guess.
Like I don't
I guess
know.
I got to
I don't know.
research more about it. It's just weird. It was just weird to me, but I mean, it doesn't
Oh
matter.
yeah, I'll take notes. I'll call my mom. All right, mom.
I mean,
Get
obviously like
get.
eating a healthy diet is ideal, but I
This
know
is
like
guest star.
being pregnant is also insanely difficult. So like like eating
Yeah.
a piece of cake here and there isn't gonna fucking murder the child, but you know.
Didn't they say that like Egwene or not Egwene that Elaine uh ate fish? Because I thought you weren't supposed to eat a whole lot of fish while pregnant.
I don't know, man. I feel
Or am I
like
mistaken?
I at
Were you not
least
paying attention to the food passages?
yeah, dude. I feel like I was listening to like a streamer and he had a kid and he was talking about how like the baby nutrition industry reminds him of like the fitness industry. Like they literally every year something is bad and every year something is different. Like every year just like fitness where it's like every year they're like, oh yeah, keto is like important and then like with babies it's like, oh, this year you can't eat apples. I don't know.
Dude,
I
one
don't
year
want
they
yeah, go ahead.
I was like one year they tried to say that like eggs were bad. I'm like, fuck
Yeah, that
off.
was like one of
Fuck
them.
off.
Yeah, it's like it's all right.
I eat eggs every goddamn day, bitch. No, it's kidding. I do though. Anyway, sorry. I love eggs.
Eggs are
They're
great,
like my
man.
whole breakfast.
Eggs are good.
Uh, yeah, I've been on that. Okay, next. What's that?
That's honestly pretty much it here. Like
Uh,
Elaine talks a lot about like the stuff she needs to do in the kingdom and like people she has to meet with. I don't really think we need to go into detail on that. If you read
yeah,
it and you're
no.
interested in that shit, go right ahead. But
Go watch another YouTuber.
it's basically
All
just
three
like
of you.
yeah, just it's just managing a kingdom basically, and then she talks about how she's gonna meet with some of the Borderlands rulers.
We're, this section too at the beginning, we get to see how how far not only like Egwene has come, but how her status has even like grew bigger than Elaine's as like a queen and the lover to the dragon reborn. Because like they're talking about like a girl born as a farmer and uh and another girl born as a princess. Obviously you would think that the princess would eventually, would have more power over the farmer, like politically and standing. But now that farmer girl is now uh, the Armulan or unofficial Armulan seat. So she now has more power over Elaine, which they're still friends, but you can definitely see in situations that Egwene takes charge. So it's that's a for me it's very interesting to see that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, she's yeah one of the most powerful characters in this world now because the Amerlin is obviously she's not the official one yet, but eventually she'll obviously get rid of Elida and become the Amerlin. But yeah,
Yeah. We've seen a lot of character development, and obviously it's 9 books, so far, so you'd expect to see a lot of character development. But like, it's well, there's no but to it. It's actually just like pointing it out, kind of like how Avienda was very close-minded and stubborn at first, and now she's like very open, and she's still kind of stubborn, but she's like more open and friendly now than she was at the beginning. Uh, Elaine, I think Elaine's pretty much the same. I mean, I can't really think of any like major changes with her unless like you can think of one.
not really. Besides like this portion where she's starting to like really learn how to be a queen, I think is some change. But yeah, it's
Oh, now
not anything crazy really.
modesty. That's what she learned. She had to learn modesty. She was very like because even like Matt and stuff would say like she's very like kind of pamperish.
Hmm.
Very like, oh, look at me, I'm a queen. I want to fuck Tom. No, I don't want to fuck Tom. He's my father. It's that sort of thing. Yeah, character development. First, you want to
Yeah.
fuck an old man, and then you don't, and they're your father.
Yeah, that's yeah,
And then,
so normal.
so I feel, so yeah, maybe she has come a long way. Now she's matured a lot because a lot of the stuff she did in the earlier books were very immature. Like when she was with Matt and was like, uh, how was she acting? He's like, "That's great, Master Cawthon." Blah, like talking
Yeah,
like down to
yeah,
him,
she would talk like that.
and
Yeah.
yeah, so I think she's come a long way in that, and it's nice. I no longer because I know we didn't record these at the time, but a lot of the girl characters I didn't care for too much. Not
Yeah.
was because like Egwene's was just kind of boring to me, and Nynaeve was just kind of annoying. And I liked Elaine though. I liked Elaine and Min. But now it's like I like all of them. Like all their shits intrigued me. I like where their characters are going. Nynaeve needed Lan. My God, she needed Lan to
And just
calm her the
like
fuck down.
I don't know if it's similar with the monkey in the tree thing, snake through the grass, but like man, he needed to stop repeating the same personality tropes over and over and over again because it was like for some of those books it was just the girls would just do the same, say the same things and act the same personality like over and over, and we already understand their personality, like we don't need to like do this over and over. So yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with you. They feel like more like real people now, so like thank God.
yeah.
But
And
yeah.
you mentioning that, I haven't heard anyone sniff the air yet with this
Right,
book
it's been
thus
a
far. No
while.
one,
It's been a
and
while.
It's like it's not that I didn't hate the saying. I just thought it was being used too much.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
please bring it back.
Yeah.
Just I want to hear it, just not as often, not as much as it was, because
Yes.
it was like every five
It was legit
seconds.
every chapter, and like nothing was happening, and it was every chapter, and it was just
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna still say it. We're at the
Yeah.
end of this little section. We'll finish the book next episode, but I don't understand what people are saying about the slump. Like this
Yeah.
shit is got me fucking going.
Yeah.
Love it.
No. You said the
Uh,
word wrong. No.
oh, you're canceled. That
No.
word I've offended for words that aren't pronounced right. Anyway, whatever.
No, I agree with you. This book has been good so far. I don't know why people hate it. So I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your predictions for the end of the book? Will we see Fail be?
I
Will
don't
we
think we're
wrap
gonna
up
see Parent. I
parents?
don't think we're gonna see Parent again until next book. At this point, I don't think we're seeing Parent
Yeah,
again.
yeah, that's that's a. I'll have to go back and re-listen to these and be like, see what our predictions were after the first episode, and then like
Compare it.
compare it. Be like, I'm pretty sure I said, "Oh, I can't wait to see where Parent's story goes."
Me too.
Went into the void, and I never
Matt's
saw it.
not gonna marry Tuon until the second book of Brandon Sanderson's section. We're not gonna fucking
Oh my
even
god.
get to that.
A memory of light.
Yeah, yeah, the last book.
The last chapter.
Yeah.
I guess we defeated the dark one. Well, let's get married.
Time to get married.
Only if you make me your sex slave, but not an actual slave.
Oh God. Put me in your kennel,
Gotta
Tuon.
put a leash on me. No, not that one.
Use a
Uh,
pink ribbon on me, Tuon.
oh my god. Holy shit. We didn't talk about that. Bale never got rid of the fucking uh man's collar.
Oh
The
yeah.
man I said I collar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
they still
didn't.
have it.
He still fucking has it, which is
That
scary.
But I knew as soon as like Nynaeve was like, take this to the deepest part of the ocean and dump it. I was like,
Yeah,
you
you
should have
should have
done it
just
yourself.
fucking got rid of it.
Should have done it yourself, because now that's gonna come back to bite him in the ass for
True.
sure.
I feel like they're gonna try to escape, and then maybe Domon will get some of them will get captured, and then they're gonna get the collar.
Yeah, and then they're gonna and then Rand will probably be collared in a book or two.
Yep, and then maybe Egwene will have to save him with like the Ice Dye army or like something. I don't know.
We're still waiting on that White Tower to get destroyed.
I know. I'm excited for that siege. It's like just do it
Yeah.
already.
Wonder if it's gonna happen. Do you think it's gonna happen in this book?
Hell no, dude. It's gonna happen
Hell
in Memory of Light, dude.
Oh no. It's like we're heading to Tarmangate and there's one more
Wait,
person
there's
we gotta
one
take down.
tower.
There's one tower.
Saruman. We gotta kill him first, and then we can kill Sauron.
It's like they get they get, they get to the White Tower and it's who are you who names himself Armulan Seat? I am Roland of Gilead.
Oh
Son
no.
That's a Dark Tower reference.
Yeah.
Not a not the Dark Tower in like the Wheel of Time, but like Stephen King's. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, that's dude. That'd be so badass. Fucking Roland of Gilead versus fucking Elida. Oh my god, dude.
Shit.
Elida would fucking destroy him.
Yeah, well, in this series, it seems like it, bro. Channeling is insane.
Yeah.
In this series.
I haven't seen people with really any guns besides like cannons, maybe. So maybe if Roland's quick, so maybe he could probably pop her off. Yeah. Let's go. Fucking love Roland. All right, I'm gonna get off topic. But what else do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Perrin again. I think we're gonna go more into Elaine. And then, honestly, just with how Robert Jordan's writing usually goes, I feel like nothing else is gonna happen. We're just gonna get like more talking. And then,
well, the last like
maybe Rand will
kill. Are usually bangers.
Yeah, exactly. So I think maybe Rand will deal more with the Ashaman maybe in the last few chapters. But I don't think we're gonna get. I don't think we're gonna get the escape for Matt or the siege or anything yet. But what do you think?
I think the biggest thing will probably happen is I think Rand will destroy the taint.
Oh yeah, true. Could do that.
I think he'll either destroy the taint or fail at destroying the taint.
Yeah.
So that's, because I think the parent stuff they're probably gonna finish next book. The Matt stuff. I mean, shit. What do we have? Like 4 hours left in the audiobook.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 hours, I think.
Yeah, I have 4 hours 16 minutes left. So I don't. So the only thing I could really think of that's gonna get concluded is Rand's, and I think everyone else's will get set up, and then the start of next book will continue theirs.
Yeah.
At least that's my my thought on that.
Cool. Well, we'll find out. We're about to finish it out. You have anything else?
I love this book so far. It's honestly probably one of my favorites thus far, and it's mostly due to the relationship stuff that we're finally getting resolved and starting new arcs with. Because like I've been waiting 9 books for the 3 girl thing to happen, and so now that finally happened, I love that scene. We're finally moving on to the next stage in their progress into their progressive relationship.
Basically, what Josh is saying to our 3 viewers is he likes the sex stuff. So
I do like the sex stuff.
I'm joking.
All 2 of you know this.
Oh man.
Anyway,
all right.
that's what I had.
Well, I'll close this out here. Thank you all for listening. If you listen all the way through, we appreciate it. Feel free to give us a like on YouTube or give us a review, comment on wherever you listen to this for podcasts. But we appreciate it. And the next week, we're going to finish Winter's Heart.
Cool. Smell you later, Red.
See ya.